What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is doing well. Celtics come away here with another dominant win, this one coming against the Utah Jazz, the final score being 126-97. The Celtics now improved to 17-0 at home. I think this ties their best home start since the 1957-1958 season. So as the season has progressed, they're just checking off markers. It's looking like this could be a historic team. And on top of the historic home start, this is 9 straight games where this team has put up 120 or more points. This team is really clicking on all cylinders, the top 3 offense, top 3 defense. And yeah, you might be saying it's just the Utah Jazz. Why are you so excited? But to me, it's more than just the Utah Jazz. It's just the entire game. It's a bounce back game after a tough loss. And that's what the Celtics have been doing all season. The average margin of victory after a loss is 15 points for this team. Losing pisses this team off, and it's obvious they never fail to bounce back. And that's a sign of a championship habit to me. Besides a little 2-game skid at the beginning of the year, the Philly-Minnesota thing, they don't let this thing get out of control. It's not spiraling. They take hold of the ship, and they got a backbone this year. The Celtics came out aggressive to start the game. I thought the first 2 defensive plays really set the tone. It was both Jays getting blocks at the rim. When your 2 superstar players are protecting the rim, getting chased down blocks a minute into the game against a lesser opponent, it lets everybody else know, okay, it's time to go. That entire first quarter was special defensively. I think the Celtics' length really bothered the Jazz. At times, it looked like the Celtics were engulfing them. And then on the offensive end, the pace was crazy. They were pushing the ball, getting out in transition. But even when things slowed down, the Celtics continued to pick them apart. I thought it was a strange coaching decision from Will Hardy because he just was on this coaching staff a couple years ago under Ime. So he got a close look at JT, and he decided to play zone against a team that has Tatum and Porzingis. Tatum has always somewhat been a zone buster. You could put him at the free throw line or the elbow, throw the ball to him, he could turn face up, shoot it, make plays from there. And now you have Porzingis, another guy who could put at that spot. He's 7'3", insanely efficient from there. So as I said, just a strange defensive scheme from the Jazz. And also, there was a lot of double teams being thrown at JT, and it was strange because it's not like this is his 3rd or 4th year. He handles those situations perfectly. He consistently makes the right plays out of those spots. But I guess seeing that tonight was a cool little reminder on how much JT has grown since he's been in the league. Overall, just a great game from JT. He finished with 30 points on 12 shots, had the 3-ball going, got to the line 14 times, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, and a steal. That first quarter is all the Celtics needed to put this team away, a combination of Tatum picking them apart, high-powered offense, high-paced transition, and the defense holding this team to 19% from the field. Moving on to individual performances, I want to talk about Jrue Holiday because last postgame, I did call him horrendous, but maybe it was a little bit of an exaggeration, but tonight he was phenomenal. He put up 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks. You got the all-defensive version of Jrue and the super efficient Jrue. Maybe he took being benched in that 4th quarter a little personal. He had a little extra pep in his step tonight. He looked spry. It was great to see him get that first bucket rip left with the lefty dunk. And maybe throughout the season so far, I've been a little bit harsh on Jrue on the offensive side of the ball, but thinking about it and looking into the stats, it's like, how much more could he really do with the amount of touches he has? Derek White has taken on that point guard role, rightfully so. Jrue's usage is the lowest it's been since his rookie year. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. His role is different here, and that's okay. He impacts the game in a million other ways. But for what he is asked to do on the offensive end, he does it well. Handle the ball a little bit, shoot open threes, shoot corner threes, and to be fair, he is like the best corner 3-point shooter in the NBA, shooting 67% from that spot. The volume is not too high, but by the end of the season, he might pass his season high for attempts. That's just a little bit of Jrue talk because sometimes I feel like I overlook him on these episodes. I want to talk about Derek tonight before we move on to some of the bench guys. He had 10 points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, but his shooting tonight was a little bit off, and Celtics fans, I think we might know why that is. Last season, Derek made an appearance on JJ Redick's podcast, and they talked to him about his shooting splits because at the time he was shooting great, but after the podcast, he went in a slump for about a month. And well, what does that have to do with tonight's game? Derek was just on that podcast again for the 2nd time, and maybe it's just coincidentally, but tonight he shoots 2 for 7 from 3. If this slump continues, there's definitely, there's got to be some correlation there. And as Celtics fans, we have to ban every Celtics player from going on that podcast until the season is over. So JJ Redick and Tommy Alter, if this goes on, if this continues, the blood is on your hands. But let's move on to the bench. We'll talk about O'Shea and Sam. I really liked what I saw from both of them tonight. There was plays where they were diving on the floor. Again, when you're making hustle plays like that in a regular season game in January, it just speaks a lot about the character of your team. I think it's safe to say that Sam has officially snapped out of his slump. I don't think many people even really notice it because his team has been winning so much, but this is 4 games in a row now where he's up over 40%, so that's great to see. But it's funny because these two guys, O'Shea and Sam, both play great tonight, and I think it has something to do with Brad Stevens' most recent interview. Brad was basically asked what players he's interested in going into the trade deadline, and he said a big wing. And what are Sam and O'Shea? They're wings. So I wonder if those guys took Brad's comments personal because their play tonight really stood out on both ends of the floor. And I always wonder if comments like that are sent out by the GM or the coach purposefully to send subliminal messages to the players saying, hey guys, if you don't get it together, we could be looking to ship you off, or someone's going to take your minutes. Or maybe I'm just reading into it too much. I don't know. Let's start winding it down there though. Celtics, another massive win, 126-97, 17-0 at home. Man, do I love to say that. Celtics have a little bit of a tough test here coming up against the Indiana Pacers. It's one of those mini series, and the Pacers are finding their groove again after that little slump after the in-season tournament final. They've beaten Atlanta, the Bucks twice, the Knicks, and Haliburton had just been doing crazy things. Listen to these last few games: 18 assists, 2 turnovers, 12 assists, 0 turnovers, 11 assists, 2 turnovers, 23 assists, 2 turnovers, 20 assists, 0 turnovers. I mean, it actually doesn't make sense. So I really think the Celtics took that in-season tournament loss harder than people realize. They're going to come out with something to prove. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It's the best and easiest way to support. I'm here after every single Celtics game, all 82 plus. I cover each and every post game, okay? I'm never going anywhere. I will talk to you guys Saturday, January 6th at Indiana. Peace.